My name's Sarah Pennington. I'm a PhD candidate in the design department here at Goldsmiths. We've just finished the family rituals workshops with Paulina. It was a really interesting session. We were exploring the different aspects of the kind of life-work balance of being a parent or having a busy life. There weren't all parents in the room. The format for the day was very tactile. We used lots of different materials. We did some mapping activities. We did some making activities. And we did some kind of probe-like design activities where we were asked to bring materials before that represented our life-work balance and kind of do some playful exploration with those materials. We worked in small groups. So one of the things that I got out of the workshop today was we worked in a group of 3, and there were different viewpoints and motivations there around family life or being in a relationship and the balance between being in a space of home and being in a workplace. We all had different setups. I have got 2 quite old children comparatively. One woman had no children and another had a young child. So we had different motivations around coming to the workshop today and different stories to bring. We talked mainly about perceptions that other people might have about us being parents. So we talked about the kind of leaving the being a parent behind when you're at work, because it kind of came across as unprofessional if you talked about these sorts of duties that might have held you up in the morning and so on. And that was across all genders that were in our group. Another thing that came across was I separate home and work life enormously. I would love them to be together. I would love them to be combined where they kind of flow seamlessly into each other. But my life is where work is completely separate to being at home. I have to switch off, otherwise I can't be present with my children. Whereas other people in the group had a very different perception of that life and work were very overlapping, particularly the person who didn't have children. She had to really make herself have a kind of relaxing time. So in a way, one of the things that came out today was actually how children give me a home life, which was a lovely thing to realise.
That's great, thank you. So from your perspective, what do you think is the biggest challenge in the area of work-life balance and digital technology that someone should be focusing on, whether that be academics, researchers, organizations, policymakers? Where do you really see the biggest challenge in this area right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things we dealt with in one of the activities today was this transitional moment. So we talked about a kind of needing to disconnect, which goes beyond whether you're in whether you have children or not, this kind of disconnection from technology and being in different states. So being able to be offline and not always on with technology, because personally I feel that is kind of not encouraged necessarily through the way that technology is sold to us. But for me, there needs to be an off button, and I don't know if anybody's, I'm sure they are, looking at that, but that was one big thing of switching off. But then also I wonder if anybody's also looking at these transitional moments between roles, between states, so between roles of mother and friend and taxi driver and colleague, or between modes of taking the kids to school, doing the shopping, going to work. Those moments of transition that I wonder if anybody's really looking at how technology can not improve on those, but somehow enable us to be more reflective about our status. Does that make sense?
That's perfect.
I mean, let me have a think. I guess also there's an area of kind of negotiation, I guess is the word, between the different members of the family too. For example, in terms of technology, the way we were talking about technology use today, it was very much, the parents use the technology, and actually everybody uses technology in my house. And there's massive amounts of negotiation around use of that, what's looked at, when, for how long, that's my phone, get off it, that's my iPad, and that causes a lot of friction as well. And it always feels sort of dumb for it to be so binary, whether you either have it or you don't. And I wonder if, I'm thinking of the kids here, they either have the iPad or they don't. And I wonder if there's stuff to do with networking where these things, they could be sort of slightly more in control of it, rather than me dealing out the times that they're allowed and for how long. I kind of want them to take responsibility for their use and not have to have all of this negotiation around technology. I think that's, I guess that kind of negotiation is quite interesting in terms of use of technology and the roles of who's in charge of those negotiations.